Another day, another story about people leaving California.
Well, California is seeing some of the highest numbers of people moving out of the state.
Our state population dropped by 500,000 people over a 2-year period.
I'm sure you've heard it before. There's a mass exodus of people leaving California. And let me tell you, those rumors, they're true. In 2022 alone, the Golden State had a net loss of 342,000 people. Let's face it, people are fed up. They're tired of being bled dry by high taxes, struggling to keep up with skyrocketing living costs, and feeling like they're stuck in an endless cycle of just scraping by. Families are leaving in droves, moving out of the state to find affordable homes and a better quality of life. And can you blame them? Our policies are out of control, our laws are frustrating and overcomplicated, and everything from gas to groceries to housing is breaking the bank. It's no wonder people are saying enough is enough. The exodus is real, and it's only gaining momentum. Now, I'll be honest, San Diego isn't immune to the challenges that are plaguing the rest of California. In fact, recent headlines named it the most expensive place to live in the entire country. But here's the thing. There's more to the story than just the numbers. As someone who's lived in various parts of California, I can say with absolute confidence, San Diego is hands down the most beautiful and best place to live in the state. It's not just about the weather and the beaches, it's about the lifestyle, the sense of community, and the overall quality of life that's unmatched anywhere else. In this video, I'm going to show you the real San Diego, the side that proves it's worth far more than just calling it home. Hi, I'm Jamie Lennon. I'm a proud San Diego local, and I'm a realtor here to help you if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the greater San Diego region. Whether you're just curious or you're ready to make a move, let's chat. So San Diego is often portrayed as an expensive, environmentally challenged city with a tough housing market. And while these challenges exist, they only tell part of the story. So let's talk about it, the good and the bad. California's wildfires have been in the spotlight again, with recent blazes affecting LA and parts of San Diego County. It's no secret that the wildfires are a risk here. The bigger issue is the insurance crisis. Many insurance companies are pulling out of California or refusing to renew policies, which is leaving homeowners in a very tough spot. This is a wake-up call for our government. You need to step in and regulate the insurance market. Do your job. Yes, wildfires are absolutely devastating, but there are solutions. And if you're hesitant about moving to San Diego or really anywhere in California, keep in mind that the last real devastating fire that we had in San Diego County was back in 2003. So this was a cedar fire near Scripps Ranch. Now, this was severe, and they can be severe, but they're just not as frequent as you might think. For homes that are located in a high fire hazard zone, securing fire insurance can be challenging. But we do have the California FAIR Plan, which offers last resort coverage. But it is underfunded and might not fully cover losses in a major disaster. That's why creating a defensible space, so clearing vegetation of around 100 feet around your property, can protect your home. Can't rely on others to do it, so we gotta make sure that we're doing everything we can. And finally, when we're buying a home, you're going to have time to secure homeowners insurance. And if you can't find coverage within the agreed time frame, you can back out of the deal with your deposit in hand. And to those impacted by the recent fires, I am so truly sorry. My heart goes out to you and your loved one. There's no secret that the cost of living in San Diego is among the highest in the country. We call it sunshine tax because I feel like it lessens the blow just a little bit when we go to pay our taxes or when we go to buy a home. But don't just take my word for it. We are here on the streets in Little Italy talking to locals. So let's see what they have to say. So my first question is, what is your name and how long have you lived in San Diego?
My name is Ed Cherry, grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Came to San Diego in 1960, played football for Don Coryell and San Diego State Aztecs.
My name is Brandon. I lived here since 2014.
2014, where'd you move from?
Well, I moved to Sedona in 2012. I was there for about 18 months, originally from Michigan.
A lot of Midwesterns today. A lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I love to see it. So how much are you paying in rent or mortgage?
I've lived in the same spot in Little Italy. My rent is $14.25.
Shut up.
Yep. That's why we're still here.
Oh my God.
We sniped a good one a while back, and we've been looking for houses for a while, but it's still tough to make the move and kind of stick around the same area in an affordable area.
Yeah.
I pay $250 a month.
So you pay $250 a month for rent or
No,
mortgage? Or do you not mortgage paid off? $1,050. Okay. Okay.
Honey,
What year is it?
I don't live with Putin's territory in Russia.
No, you
I live right here. Come on.
My next question is, what are some hidden expenses people don't think about when moving here?
When they move here, what they don't understand that there's so many things to do. You're going to spend a lot of discretionary money just living here, having fun, enjoying life, and contributing to others. You're not living in Wyoming where you can just stay in a house and watch TV. You live in an exciting city that has so much to offer that it's going to cost you extra money if you want to live a full life.
Little Italy or San Diego or
Yeah.
well, everything's expensive. Yeah, we like to go out. I mean, we moved to the city to kind of go out and see and be seen and experience everything. And, you know, being from the Midwest, comparing to San Diego, everything is pricey. You step out the door, you spend $100. So
Easy.
I commute quite a bit. So until I got a company vehicle, I was driving up the Oceanside, what was available for work, and gas was expensive. That was the first big hit. Moving from Arizona, it was about double.
Yeah.
So there's hidden expenses everywhere.
Yeah, there really are. Parking.
Yep.
I mean, you lived here for a while. I lived here.
Parking.
You used to not have to pay for parking down here. Now it's
Yeah.
everywhere you have to pay parking.
Yep.
So do you feel like most of your income goes towards housing?
In my particular case, no.
No. You got a really good spot.
It's mostly going out and entertaining ourselves. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the way you want it to
I
be.
mean, there's some to go to eat, and drinking's expensive. I like to party a little bit. So yeah, it's mostly enjoying ourselves being in California. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not spending your money on enjoying yourself, then what's the point?
A lot of it goes to housing, but you know what? The one bedroom I live in is 1,080. Normally it's 2,000. The X800 I give to other people to make their life a little more charming. I take the underdog. I grew up in Brooklyn where we had poverty, and I take the underdog and give them a little push up to let their life be a little bit better, which makes me feel better.
My next question is, what is the biggest financial sacrifice you've made to live in San Diego?
The biggest sacrifice I made is take care of my children. My son had some issues. Now he's a jet pilot. My daughter has made beautiful strides. So giving to your family, to your friends, to close people, and see them make a difference in this world is it's an amazing feeling that you did the right thing for the right reason, for the right person at the right time.
Definitely.
Well, not being able to own a house. I mean, being from the Midwest, pretty much all of my family, we grew up in nice spreads, right? We had acreage, we had land, right? So we wanted a little taste of the city life, but I am missing the land components, all the trees. I mean, there's drawbacks to each area and positive things, but yeah, you can't really plot down and have a bunch of kids in the city very easily. So that's probably the biggest thing.
Takes a little bit of sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
So if you could change one thing about the cost of living here, what would it be?
Oof, I guess affordable home pricing would be number one. That's the easy answer, and it's probably the most reasonable answer. So I'll stick with that.
Just come back realistic, come and live below your means at first till you get accustomed or adjusted to it, then start moving up.
Yeah.
Just come down at a street level and make sure that you can afford it, and then move up to help others.
So have you ever seriously considered moving away because of the high cost of living?
If I have close friends, my friends are my fortune. I'm not about money. I'm about bonding with close, great people, and those people are inseparable. If I have to live in my car and keep 100 friends, I'll do that. Then then move away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're kind of in that tipping point where getting into our mid-30s and we're trying to figure out how to settle out, and maybe we've had our run through the city long enough. And yes, we have considered, we haven't pulled the trigger yet, but it is talked about often, and it's difficult to make the decision because it's can't find the right spot and the right cost for us, right?
Yeah. So is your goal right now to own a home, and you're thinking, where can I realistically do that?
Gotta make more money, yeah.
Yeah, that helps. Yep. Okay, so my last question is living in San Diego worth the price tag? Why or why not?
I think so. It's kind of hard to compare for most because I have a fortunate situation, but it's kind of hard to beat. And anybody that has moved from elsewhere or lived anywhere for a significant period of time and has landed here has said it's the best place to be. So you kind of make it work. That doesn't mean there's sacrifices like we've talked about that you have to just deal with, but it is ridiculous here. So
It is.
you kind of just have to saddle up and deal with it, or figure out a way to make more money, or figure out a way to drive the cost down.
Yeah. So obviously you've lived in other places, so you have somewhere to compare it to, and it seems like this is where you'd like to stay. If you can make it work, this is where you kind of want to settle your roots, right?
Yep, that'd be the plan.
Yeah.
Living wherever you're living, as long as you have great friends and you're contributing to them and to other people, it doesn't make a difference where you're living. As long as you're making a difference in people's lives, whether it be Wyoming, whether it be Moscow, whether it be here, that's the difference.
People move here for the lifestyle. Period. End of story. If a job comes along and it's located in San Diego, they're taking it. And if they don't have a job lined up, they're gonna figure it out. But that doesn't mean it doesn't come with its challenges, with the biggest one being the cost for housing. With the average cost for a single family home here now at $1 million. But if we're looking to get into a nicer neighborhood, I would expect to pay closer to $1.3 million. And I got just the perfect home to show you. Come on, let's go check it out. So I know everybody wants to know, what does it cost to buy this home? So it's currently listed at $1,350,000. So assume you put 20% down, and let's assume you're at the current rates of about 6.5%. You're gonna be looking at a monthly mortgage payment of around $8,300 a month, and that does include property taxes and insurance. Now your next question is probably, how much do I have to make to be able to afford an $8,300 a month mortgage payment? Well, lenders use what they call DTI, or debt to income ratio. It needs to be about 43%. So let's assume that your other debts, your monthly debts, come out to about $1,000 a month. Factoring in the cost for this home, you would need to bring home about $312,000 a year, or maybe each spouse has a salary of about $155,000 a year. So now you know what it takes and how much it costs to buy this home. There really is a community for everyone here. With 52 different neighborhoods that make up San Diego, I would be absolutely shocked if you were unable to find an area that fit your particular style and way of life. Whether it's the upscale coastal vibes of La Jolla, the family-centric community of Carmel Valley, or the urban energy of downtown, you find it all here. But there are plenty others, ones you probably haven't heard of. My first pick is gonna be San Carlos, which is tucked right off the base of Krause Mountain, which means that if you love hiking or just being outdoors, you got easy access to some amazing trails. So you can be right next to Lake Murray, which has walking trails and a bunch of lake activities. This community is going to be surrounded by mountains, and it's very quiet and very peaceful. You're also right next to La Mesa and downtown La Mesa, where you're gonna find your weekly farmers market and local restaurants and coffee shops. It's just a great area if you love being close to outdoor activities. If you like historic homes, you are not gonna wanna miss Kensington. So just like North and South Park, you're gonna find your Craftsman and Spanish style homes here, but it's just better. So it's very convenient. It's located off Highway 8. But what's great about this area are undoubtedly the homes, but the streets are wider. They're not going to be as congested with cars in the street. It's a very well maintained neighborhood. You're gonna have a centralized downtown area off Adams Avenue. There's not a ton of spots, but there's enough. You're gonna find a lot of local favorite restaurants and coffee shops there. It's very family-centric community, but it's also great for pretty much anybody. If you like the look of an older home, this is a great place to check out. I'm telling ya. Love Kensington. Now, just west of San Carlos is Alley Gardens and Del Cerro. I'm lumping these two together because they're right next to each other, and I really couldn't pick one over the other. Because these areas are right next to San Carlos, you still get the benefits of being close to the mountains and Lake Erie. But the thing that stands out the most here are the homes. You have craftsman style and mid-century modern homes here. You also get great views because the area is very hilly, especially in Del Cerro. So this neighborhood was built up in the 50s and 60s, and to me, it's just such a hidden gem. You can find a 3-bedroom home, updated, for $1.1 million. The streets are tree-lined, and it's just incredibly charming. Don't sleep on this one. Everyone raves about the weather here, and honestly, it's for good reason. And what makes it so great is how steady it is. There aren't huge temperature swings. Summers aren't going to be scorching hot, and winters aren't going to be freezing, so you're not stuck inside hibernating for months out of the year. I honestly think that's one of the reasons people here just seem to be happier overall. Now let's be real, it's not Hawaii, it does get cold, and if you're near the coast in the spring, you'll definitely experience May gray and June gloom, where skies can stay gray for weeks. Sometimes it burns off midday, but not always. It's this weird combo where it's warm outside, but not sunny, which can really throw you off. The key here though is layers, seriously all year round. In the winter, wear something light under your coat because by noon, you're probably going to be peeling it off. But don't forget to grab it again around 3 or 4 because it cools down fast. The same goes for summer. If you're out at night, bring a jacket because those cool coastal breezes can sneak up on you. Trust me, layers are going to be your best friend in San Diego. And San Diego, health and fitness are practically a way of life here. You'll see people working out outdoors all year round. Whether it's running along the beach, hiking, or doing yoga in the park. And if boutique fitness is more your thing, the city is packed with studios offering everything from Pilates to HIIT, even pole dancing classes. Whatever you're into, you're going to find it here. One of the coolest fitness communities is the PB Run Club. It's super popular. They're gonna meet twice a week to run anywhere from 3 to 3.6 miles, and then they get to hang out afterwards for food and drinks. It's not just about the workout though, it's also just a great way to meet people who are as passionate about health and fitness as you are. So if you are new to the area and you're looking for a fun, social way to connect with others, this is a great place to start. So we're in Mission Beach right now, and right up there is called Fit Athletic. It's one of the most popular gyms in San Diego. There's a few locations around, but this one's really cool because it overlooks the ocean. So while you're working out, you get this killer view. So again, Fit Athletic in Mission Beach. One thing that is so important to mention is how much people value a healthy work-life balance. Compared to other big cities like the Bay Area where I lived for quite a while, it's a huge difference. So here in San Diego, people make time to enjoy life. They aren't just about the grind. They like to have fun. There's no shortage of things to do here. Whether it's festivals on weekends, live music year-round, or hopping over to a farmer's market, you can pretty much find one any day of the week if you look around the county. But the city just has so much to offer. And of course, being close to the water is a big perk too. We have sunset cruises, or maybe hopping on a 3-day cruise down to Ensenada. You can find all-inclusive cruises for about $300. Maybe you want to take some sailing lessons. Go on Groupon. You can find some killer deals on Groupon for sailing lessons. And then you don't even need to hire somebody to take you. You just do it yourself. Between the beaches, the breweries, the hiking trail, world-class golf courses, and all the downtown spots to explore, there's always something to do. San Diego makes it easy to step away from work and really live. And I think that's a huge part of why people love it here. One of the biggest challenges San Diego faces is the homelessness. It's especially visible in neighborhoods like downtown, especially in East Village, and then we also see it in Ocean Beach. The city's warm weather and the high cost of living make it a hot spot for homelessness, and the lack of affordable housing only makes the issue worse. Walking through some areas, it is not uncommon to see tent encampments or people sleeping in public spaces. For locals, this can be really tough to see and navigate. It's just a constant reminder of the city's struggle to provide adequate resources for those in need. The good news is that San Diego is tackling homelessness in a lot of ways. They've added more shelters, including bridge shelters that offer temporary housing. They offer meals and services to help people get back on their feet. For those living in their cars, there are safe parking lots where they can stay overnight and access things like showers and bathrooms, and even case management. The city is also building more permanent supportive housing, like apartment complexes that are designed for low-income residents and people transitioning out of homelessness. Programs from the San Diego Housing Commission are helping too, with rental assistance vouchers and then funding to create more affordable housing. There's also the HOT program, so homeless outreach teams, where social workers, police officers, and healthcare professionals they team up to connect people with resources and encourage them to use shelters and the services. Then you have nonprofits like Father Joe's Villages and Alpha Projects, which are big partners. They offer food, jobs, mental health support, and addiction recovery. On top of that, state and federal funding like the Home Key Initiative is helping turn hotels and motels into housing units. It's a big effort, and while there is still tons to do, these steps are making an impact. Me personally, I have seen an improvement over the last 12 to 16 months or so with the amount of people that used to live on the street. Just don't see it as much anymore. Look, with over 3 million people in the county, we are bound to have our fair share of traffic. The silver lining is that it's mostly during commuting hours, so it's not as bad as LA. It can still be a headache during rush hour, especially if you're driving on the 805 or the 5. Those are the biggest culprits. That's where everybody's commuting to and from work. And then you also have coastal areas and the downtown that can get pretty congested as well. So plan ahead if you're driving during peak times. It's manageable, but it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're thinking about moving here. I get so many calls from people wanting to move back to San Diego because they've lived here before and they just cannot stop reminiscing on their time here. Whether they went to school here or they were stationed here in the military. There's just something about San Diego that stays with them. And speaking of the military, San Diego is one of the largest military hubs in the US, home to the Navy, Marine Corps, we have the Coast Guard, and even some Air Force here as well. And the reason why we have so many branches, well, it's all about location. It's on the Pacific Ocean next to the Mexican border, and it also has the perfect year-round weather for training. You often see jets and helicopters flying overhead, which is actually pretty cool. That adds to the unique vibe to the city. Plus, the military presence here brings people from all over the country and even the world, since service members and their families frequently relocate here. It's also a huge boost to the local economy, and then you get to find cool events like Fleet Week in San Diego, which is a great way to celebrate this part of the city's identity and connect with its history. Now, if you live near a base, the aircraft noise might take some getting used to, but most people see it as the sound of freedom. It's part of what makes San Diego so special, and it adds to its character in a way that locals are proud of. And if you think you're going to be stationed here or are a veteran looking to use your VA benefits to buy a home, I'd love to help. I work and specialize in helping those in the VA. Those benefits are incredible, so let's make the most of them and get you settled in. Now, before deciding to move anywhere, make sure that you're not stretching yourself too thin. Being house poor is not what you want to be when living in a place like San Diego. The last thing you want to do is move to a place as beautiful as San Diego and not get to enjoy it. Hey, there is always room for a little sacrifice, but if it sacrifices your quality of life, I'm always gonna say, don't do it. It's just not worth it. Well, that is what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And if you want to chat more about what it's like living in this amazing city, or chat about your options for buying or selling a home, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd love to hear about your goals and help you make them happen. And I'm going to leave you the same way I always do, friends, and that is to stay classy. San Diego.